for it. I mean, in layman's terms, we fast traveled to the village. We found the hall where the meeting was taking place. We tried to get in, but the guards were like, "Nah, you gotta wait till the meeting's over." And we're like, "Well, can we send a message at least?" We deliberated on what message to send. We told them important stuff, and then we're like, "Well, guess we gotta wait for them to be done." And so then we were gonna go explore the market, I think.
Something that we were thinking about. Though it sounds like there may be a bit of a discussion. It's like, do we actually have anything worth sharing? I think we do, but yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys want to do the warm-up question, or do you want to just jump into it?
Let's do a warm-up.
Alrighty then. This question. Oh, sweet. If your character was a mascot, what kind of mascot would they be?
Ooh.
This one does feel familiar, but I think this may have been with a different campaign. So, are you saying like mascot?
If they were going to be a mascot, what are they mascotting for?
Oh, mascotting for?
Yeah, like they've been hired to be the mascot, but what are they going to do it for?
What would they accept a mascot position for, or something like that?
Yeah, and they would essentially get to choose what that is. What is it they're going to try and, be the mascot for? So not necessarily advertising, but what would they be the one to represent?
Either a small, like, natural, herby, hippy-dippy soap company, or I think a school. Schools just love using animals like bobcats and cougars and whatnot for school mascots.
She'd actually transform into the school mascot animal.
Mm-hmm.
Just pose dramatically in front of its sign for a little bit while people enter, and then she just pops back to normal, and that's her day done.
Yep.
Yeah, guess so. I have no idea what would be a mascot for. Like, the general thought I had was like, war? Espionage? That doesn't make sense. You don't have mascots.
I was about to ask, like, is she becoming the new Uncle Sam poster for war?
I want you to get the hell out of here. And she's just gonna, like, pitch the sign right next to Kaylin, on Kaylin's door. No, that would not.
It's funny because Kaylin would be the exact opposite. No war. Everyone make friends. Friendship for everyone.
I thought you were going to be like the mascot for like a cookie company, like you'd strike
Also,
a deal with like Kellogg's.
Kaylin's not picky. She'll be a mascot for anything.
Anything that pays?
No, she'll just be a mascot for anything.
Just anything.
Anyone who asks.
Yeah, they ask you nice enough. Yeah, sure, I'll do it.
Yeah, sure, I'll do it.
You don't know why you're being asked to hold a bloody murder weapon, but you pose for a picture.
Yep.
They seem to be happy about it, so good job.
Yay.
All right.
I don't have any idea. Because, like, anything that I could think of, I guess I'll go with, like, Uncle Sam, because, like, anything I could think of that could make sense wouldn't have a mascot.
Well, they do now.
They do now.
Oh man, I just looked up at the one that was next to this. This would have been a great one.
Ooh, what is it?
It goes more on like the for those familiar with the Mass Effect trilogy, the Paragon or Renegade selections. It essentially just tallied what side you tend to lead toward in your life so far.
Ooh.
Like how many R2s or L2s have you
L2s.
pressed?
Leah started off Paragon. Been all Renegades from there.
I think we might have lost Heidi with that one.
Are we talking about video games like like left-hand triggers, right-hand triggers?
Yeah. In the series
okay.
Mass Effect, there's a kind of like a morality system, I guess, where Paragon you essentially making the good decisions, and Renegade making the bad or renegade decisions. And
Yeah.
every so often in a cutscene, you can like do something to do a bit extra good or a bit extra not good.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, if that was happening with your character, like how often do you think they would lean toward that side of being good and doing a little extra good or not?
I mean, probably leaning towards the good, but then again, it depends on who's perceiving what she's doing and what side they're on.
It's specifically from your point of view. So even if it's someone else who thinks you're breaking the rules, you'd be paragoning for doing what you think is right, unless what you're actively doing you know is wrong.
Yeah, probably paragoning then.
Oh yeah, that's 2.
I mean, I don't think Kaylin ever tries to do bad. I think it was way too much on her conscience if she ever made a decision that she thought was evil or bad.
Yeah. Would she be aware of what either one of them meant? Because I can imagine her doing both.
No, she would not.
Oh god, she might be a true neutral. It's so hard to do.
True neutral Kaylin. Always playing devil's advocate. I could see Kaylin playing devil's advocate.
I always wonder what's the counter to that. Like, if one's a devil's advocate, what's the other one? Like an angel's gaslighter?
That's. Oh no, that's not. Okay, yeah, not automatic. Sorry.
Well,
all right.
With all this out of the way,
are we ready to begin?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Have you guys thought about what you'd like to do next? The field is yours. You gave your first message that was passed into the meeting room, and you guys, you also opened the little message and shared it with your party that apparently someone had returned.
Oh yeah, that whole thing that we don't have context for, but seems very important.
Yeah, just some random nobody named Zamor Thunderdrift. Totally something you guys can just, let them know later. Yeah, not ignore. You can just leave the note with one of the guards, and I'm sure that totally won't be fine.
That'll be fine. We totally won't be executed because we know too much.
Totally.
Oh god, if you only knew.
Okay, the eyes do not work. I'm sorry.
Then
Okay.
yeah, were we
Uh,
deliberating on whether to send
I think
that name, Zoomor Thunder
yes.
Drift, as another message to the guys?
I believe so. That was one of the options because you guys had like walked down the stairs back into the mingling crowd. You had the options of going to the market, just chilling here, waiting for the decision to be made, exploring elsewhere, or delivering the possible message after your friend Kaylin contacted her guardian friend and got a bit more info and tried her best to tell you what that info was.
Mm-hmm.
She sure did try her best.
yeah.
Tried
Tried her
so
best.
hard,
And
you
didn't
could
you
have
roll a
told
1?
Star.
Didn't you roll a 1?
It was a very low roll.
Yeah.
It was not. I don't think it was a 1. I just think it was not great.
It was not great. If it was wrong, you'd get wrong information. But it was just
well, no, I mean,
not
like,
good.
Yeah, just not great. I mean, Leah is interested in exploring the shops here. I also think that something that she bring up is searching for contacts, like anybody you guys might know that would be here or is not in the meeting, or just searching for people that might be in the know, and potentially people like Leah that is not of the tribes of the island that might be here, and see what business they may have here, what they're doing.
Yeah.
Don't know.
So do we think we should send another message now? Or should we wait to bring it up until they maybe let us see everybody?
Good question.
Well, if we give them the message now, wouldn't they want to see us faster? This seems like
that is possible.
an important thing to talk about.
Ideally. But we don't know how this news will be received.
Exactly, but we won't know until we try, so how about we go tell them, pass this second message along.
I guess we could try that out.
So we reached a decision?
Yeah. Except, I think, Nashani, you should tell them, because I feel like if I tell them, they might get confused and not understand the message well.
Why is that?
All right.
I mean, I could try if you really think I could do it.
I think that's shitty. Sorry. Out of game. Sorry, I was asking that sarcastically.
Oh, no, I know. Kaylin did not pick up on it, though.
What fun.
Very well, then let's go back up to the guards.
All right.
All right. Are you approaching as a group, individually? Just sending one representative? How you like to do this?
Probably let Nashoni lead, but we're a couple paces back. Kaylin, your thoughts?
Yep. Let Nashoni lead.
Yep. You got this. No pressure.
All right.
All right. The same people as before, the same guard. Well, the same guards there. That some of them are actually eyeing you a bit seriously now, coming back a second time. But the same head of this particular village's guard does see you approaching and step up to meet you.
All right. Then she will step up to the guards and just begin. We've now realized we have a second message. Men in the meeting. This one may be of even more importance.
If you believe that it is necessary for them to know this, you can send it. But I must again preference the fact that while the message may pass through, depending on who on the other side receives it, they may decide to hold on to it until there is an opportunity to share the information if they find it important enough.
Well, we do. And our message...
Right.
And our message is this. We have received word that Zumor Thunderdrift has returned from isolation. I am not as familiar with this name as one of my comrades is, but even then our knowledge of this man is fairly limited, but we know that his name is significant to this island. Excuse me.
Well, how far are the others from Mercedes? Yeah, Mercedes.
5,
No,
10
she popped in
feet
one
back?
more meters.
Yeah, probably 5 to 10 feet back.
5 to 10 feet back. Cool, then you're close enough to see this even, because I remember this team's the one that's got perception. As soon as she says that name, everyone immediately tenses. The 12 guards that are there. You can see each pair having a unique reaction. Only 4, their eyes snap immediately to Michonne, and it looks like they want to do or say something, but they hold themselves back. The other 2 that are not from this village look visibly shaken.
Ooh.
And the 6 that are from this place have a look of almost uncertainty, and there's a mixture of fear.
Secrets and fear.
But the individual you're speaking to, his eyes immediately harden, and he waits for you to finish before he does reply.
Yeah, I mean, she's keeping it
Who
simple.
told you this? When?
We arrived here. There was an entity in the forest who allowed us to quickly come here. And I found a note, this message, in my pocket.
Can you
And she'll
describe
hold
the
up the note.
individual and where you were on the island?
He was...
Sorry. Leah's gonna take a small step closer. Can I roll an insight check on this guy?
You sure can. Is there anything specific you're trying to look for?
I'm looking like he seems very interested in this, and obviously this is, partially because of his duty. Does he seem like fearful of this guy, like hateful, spiteful, or something? What is like the emotion in relating to this, and like how like it seems like he's going to use this information?
Go ahead and roll me that insight.
All right. Okay, that landed cocked. Oh, okay. 21.
All right, that's pretty good. Now, with that, you are able to tell that this, at first he seemed like there was almost a bit of almost a playful mirth in his eye when he saw that Nishoni was coming back a second time trying to give another message. The second that name left her lips, his eyes immediately widened. It was only for a second, but you have pretty good eyesight. You could see that his mind was racing. That same kind of thing you see when something very important was just said to someone who believed they had all the information. And they're currently right now in the info gathering mode, trying to get as much information in as much detail.
Okay, so yeah, all right. Yeah.
They're very composed, but you've seen this enough to realize this person is if it weren't this professional, they'd be like shaking her by the shoulder, screaming where, when, and how.
Yeah. I don't think, because Leah doesn't know the whole history of the situation, I don't think Leah says anything at this point, but she is definitely taking note of this. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay. Well, the guy asked what this entity looked like, and
Where?
yeah, he was like a tree. He didn't seem malevolent, and I'm not quite sure where we were on the island. We had woken up in a wagon suddenly, and we were displaced from our path, going here, actually. And this entity helped us to arrive here.
You can make me a quick persuasion check.
Okay.
As he is staring like intensely at you, trying to figure out exactly, just picking apart every word you said.
19.
Wow, these dice are just not with me today. Okay, yeah, no, he definitely doesn't seems to be calming down a bit more. When did you say this happened?
Just today. Not even an hour ago.
And you have no indication where that happened on the island before you were sent here?
Where did we know vaguely where we were? I'm not sure we knew where we were.
You guys figured out a general direction, I think.
Leah will kind of like butt in, a little uncertain of what to make of the situation. Northeastern of the volcano was what we determined.
His eyes immediately go to you, Leah, and he asks, and this was the name you were given. You did not see the individual, just told that they have returned.
That's what we found on that scrap of paper. I'll be honest, I have little idea who this is. But that's what it's a message we were told to deliver, and, well, here we are.
And you see him as you say that, he gives you a quick up and down before he just mutters under his breath the Nike, which you know means essentially just recognized you that, oh, you're an outsider.
Yeah. All right.
And he extends his hand and asks, if I may examine the parchment.
Yes. She'll hand the note to him.
This is interesting because I'm very much getting bad vibes here, but Leah does not have the information, and I could be entirely wrong.
Alright, so I don't know something real quick. Oh, Jesus, 8 and 5. Okay, he actually hands this to one of the others, guards who took the original message and hoisted it to, and he goes over to the same wall you said last time, but this time there is a different set of odd symbols he starts carving into side stone before it begins to physically shape, and the literal spherical enclosure actually starts moving a little.
Like the entire building, or just the
Like the entire wall seems to start to shift on the side.
Oh.
The walls move.
And the man literally enters what looks to be like a 3x6, like a carve out, before he essentially sinks into the wall itself. He just passes through it, where the wall shifts back into what it was.
Oh, and he's gone.
Wow, magical technology.
Can somebody fill me in on a bit more on what this guy's deal is? He seems... I forget what was shared last time, whether it was just, previous leader or something. Oh, wait, no, I think we did realize that it could be...
Well, he was we talked about how he was the previous leader, and like he gave up, or he was chased from the throne.
The story before goes with that he was next in line to be the High King, and before he could take the throne of the High King, whatever, something happened. He stepped away or got pushed away or whatever, and has been in self-exile. It was after Kaylin talked with her guardian that she realized, no, he actually was the High King. So that was the discrepancy in the old stories. But something still happened that caused him to step away.
Yeah.
No, I remember that out of game. I forget how much was shared in game. I think we did get all of that in game, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I've got it here. In game, it was Nishoni. She rolled hers. She was able to get like the version of no one knows why he never took up the crown after he was, he'd gotten to there and people elected him.
Yeah.
As High King, but something like days before was supposed to officially happen, gone. And everybody speculated different reasons. Then when Kaylin asked her guardian, she's the one who got the information and shared it with you guys as he was actually made the king officially, but something happened that caused him to leave in what she referred to as a self-exile.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That must be...
That's what you guys got.
Mm-hmm.
Must be severe enough for him to go in now.
Yeah, he's just
it is, and they were blabbing and like making us like such a big point about like no one can interfere, blah blah blah, and they just did it.
Walked in.
Mm-hmm.
Is it one guard there, or is it were there 3 guards and now there's just 2?
There were a dozen guards here.
Okay, dozen. Okay,
yeah. 6 of them are matching uniforms along with the guy who you're talking to.
Yeah, they're from here, and then the other
seem to be matching in Only like 2 of them occasionally match in what they are, so probably visiting here with some of the other chieftains.
Yeah. I guess we're just waiting here. I'm gonna kind of like walk back a little bit, like to the point where it's like trying, like, kind of like gesture to the others over. It's like, let's huddle up and discuss, or we can hold off if you guys are not wanting to do that right now.
I am just eager to see what he has to say or what he's looking like by the time he comes back.
He's never coming back.
Never abandoned us.
Maybe not. I guess we'll hold off on a huddle.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for the most part, nothing seems to have changed, but the guy you're talking to seems to have taken back his position, guarding. So
Oh, he does come back.
No, the guy that went in seems to have, like, closed the door behind him.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess how long has
Before he comes back.
been? He may not come back.
That we don't know.
Hmm. Well,
Huddle?
huddle, sure.
No huddle? All right.
Huddle
Are
like
we-
penguins.
Obviously, I don't know all the same context that you guys, the 2 of you do. Are we certain this is the right move? This is the right side to be taking here?
Shani just looks at you like, why would you even question that?
Right. I just... Let's... Maybe if we're going to have to wait, we should look into this figure more. See what we can find out.
Are there any libraries here, Siler? Any record houses or anything?
You can ask the person in front of you. You're not entirely sure if there are any
Okay.
record houses here that wouldn't be probably be one level down where like the officials technically do work.
Hmm.
Cool, where's the staircase? Oh, it's in the meeting room. No, I assume not.
No, but maybe there's a secret tunnel.
We could always search for a secret tunnel. Or we could
Listen,
blow it up.
ladies, if we all pool our feminine wiles together, maybe we can get them to show us where to go.
Are you talking about seduction?
Yes, we just bat our eyelashes and just listen.
Oh,
Us gals.
one of my other friends tried to teach me how to do that. She was very pretty, and I didn't quite get what she wanted me to do. I didn't get it.
All right.
Ah. Scratch that idea then.
I mean, the 2 of us could try, but we'll see how much success we have.
Hmm.
I guess it doesn't seem... How long have we been waiting here?
You're going on a
Right.
few minutes now. You started this conversation up, and it doesn't look like anything has changed, except that there is now black smoke coming out of the top of the little hut, that the main office at the top. There used to be a pillar of white smoke, just normal fire, and supposedly when it stops, that's supposedly when they've made their decision. And it was only just recently that it just turned black, which means something's being burned.
Oh.
I guess things are getting heated in there.
I guess this is like conclave. Okay.
Yeah, like the black doesn't signal anything, right? Other than they're burning something. It's not like a signal for like prepare for war.
No, their signal for prepare for war is they're coming out and tell you
Yeah.
we're preparing for
Don't
war.
stop. Come out
Mhm.
and say it. Yeah. That is interesting. Something's burning. Hopefully not the mess.
Some people are noticing it, but they don't know what that means because the smoke's never really gone black before.
I've got a bad feeling about this. But
Jinkies.
let's maybe wait for another 30 minutes, and then if we don't hear anything, let's go and leave and do other things.
Then we'll come back later.
Does that sound good to everybody?
Yeah, sounds good.
Wait 30
minutes.
minutes.
Later.
I actually need to wait 31 minutes. Sorry, guys.
Is there anything you guys want to do in those 30 minutes?
Play rock, paper, scissors. See who's the champ.
They'll know poker.
What's poker?
Y'all know Texas Hold'em?
What's Texas?
It's a god.
Is that an
from the
animal
old
you
world.
own?
Yeah, it's like a pig wrangling, but it's with cards.
Ooh.
And you're trying to wrangle everybody else's money.
Ah. Sounds illegal.
Bia would probably try to draw after a little while, but I think she's a little anxious, so she's just gonna pace back.
Ooh, this is a good time for Kaylin to keep writing in her journal and get caught up with everything that's happened because it's been a lot.
Yay.
Any more
you
funny
guys-
entries?
I need to update it.
Are you guys waiting at the top, like next to the guards, or did you go back down to the base?
Oh, we're waiting
At the
like by the
top.
guards for 30 minutes. Yeah.
Of like 30 feet away or something like that. But yeah, probably up there. Unless they're
Well, no, 'cause,
shooing
like,
us away.
There's the house, there's the guards in front of it, and then the rest of the people are down the stairs just waiting. So if you're staying up there, so as long as you're not trying to pass the guards, they don't seem to have a problem with it. They just find it odd.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're odd people, you know? We just brought 2 messages.
Well, we have
That
currently a pending
one
request.
of which
One was extremely vague and invoked their god. The second one literally caused everyone's butts to pucker as soon as you dropped that.
Mm-hmm. So we did something right.
You hope.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah.
Actually, roll me. Can you roll me a quick perception check?
Sure thing.
Damn. 13.
Ugh.
4 plus 9.
2 plus 6, 8.
Natural 20, so I hope this is good.
Oh my god.
Kaylin, how are you
You're
the
the-
most observant one right now? This makes no
You're the-
sense.
Oh god. This is just like the freaking name thing all over again. Let's see if you can actually take this information. So, what you notice is that 2 of the guards that looked almost panic-stricken when this happened have actually taken a step back and are kind of hiding behind the other guards, just trying to be as non-attention-seeking or attention-drawing for a split second. But you can hear and you listen in and you hear them casting a spell. You've heard of this one before. They just finished sending out 2 messages. You weren't able to hear exactly what they were saying, but you were able to notice that that's what they were doing, essentially behind the other guards' backs. Do with that information what you will.
I think she's gonna kind of wonder out loud, like, who are you sending a message to?
Are you looking at them when you say this?
Yeah. She's kind of focused, locked on them, and then she says this out loud. I don't think she means to say it out loud, but she is thinking this out loud.
About half the people there give the individual who you just pointed out a sharp / stern look. The individual themselves, while looking a bit kind of like the hand in the cookie jar for a split second before he sterns himself and defends his actions. This is all in Druidic, so only two of you can hear this.
I'll translate to Leah.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm simply having the information verified.
I'm simply
We'll
having
know
the
if it
information
was true.
verified.
Hmm?
Oh, sorry, I was just repeating.
Sorry.
Simply having the information verified, we'll know whether it's true before the night is done. If they're right, this will not go quite.
Who are you verifying this information with?
I think we're eavesdropping. Are you just walking up to them and
She's
asking?
asking out loud again. Yep, no. All of these are inside thoughts that she doesn't realize are coming outside.
Can Leah, like, I guess she'd have a delayed reaction because she's being like, Shoni's translating, but like Leah would try to like grab her by the mouth to like get her to stop, but
who are you verifying this?
Don't talk out loud about that right now, Kaylin.
Now, while this conversation is happening, some of you can notice because of your perceptions that the crowd downstairs has suddenly started to quiet down and is like purposely listening to this conversation. So they've caught a few snippets and you certainly gathered a few crowds looking more anxious because of this weird little group of individuals who've gone up there twice. Once looked like a normal trying to get info or message in, and the second time everyone kind of noticed the change of the guards.
All right. Maybe we should step down for a moment.
I guess so.
The last thing you do here as you guys are starting to step down is there have been reports from the Flaming Blood.
Do I know what that means?
There have been reports.
Yes. The Andela Crodoa, which is the far east side of the island, which they call the Flaming Blood, because on that side of the island there's an underground volcanic vent, essentially a river of lava direct from the volcano that flows down almost like a river, but it's underground and it does pop up on occasion throughout the passage as it falls into the ocean. They call it the Flaming Blood because every time, for some whatever reason, that it pops out of the ground, instead of following the original tunnel, it seems to spew out, essentially a waterfall of lava into the ocean inside. It looks like someone has wounded the land and the lava spilling out of it, where it's got its name, which is odd because that entire side of the forest, right before it hits the cliff that goes over the edge, very grass-like. That just gets pot-marked with like a small little volcanic eruption every now and then.
So very contrasting environments.
Indeed, and you can almost remember that is more or less the direction you're also going.
We were going, or we are going?
That you were going back when you were in the carts, and when you busted out and you met the person. That was the direction where the camp was going. After you figured out where you were and where they were likely headed.
So they were going towards the volcano?
No, they were headed towards the Flaming Blood, which is
Right.
exactly east of the volcano.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, depending on how this all plays out, that may have not been a good idea to tell them about them. But, well, they asked us to share, so maybe this was the plan all along.
Maybe.
Yeah,
It'll be fine. Sir, it'll be fine.
You guys spend the remaining time puzzling about that.
Okay, but you guys have decided to step down and just join the crowd again, or?
Yeah.
Probably would be best to not draw too much attention. Kaylin?
She gives you this, like, what are you talking about look?
Mm-hmm.
It's the cutest little puppy dog tilt.
God, I'm imagining, like, her hair, like, even, like, falling in a way that it looks like droopy ears.
Yep.
Like her bangs. Just not her bangs.
As soon as you guys do enter the crowd, you are approached by someone.
Ooh.
Oh?
Could that be?
Who's that Poke? I'm sorry.
You all immediately take 3 points of psychic damage.
For real, or...
No, this is in real life, not the game.
Ah, yeah.
But yeah, no, you are approached, and you three do recognize. Well, actually, technically, only two of you recognize. The other one, I don't think. No, I don't think Michonne you've ever met her before. Yeah. Ciora. The native who was traveling with the Nord dressed up in native attire. That little group you guys met the first night you stayed at that little rundown house on the errand for Mr. Red.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. She approaches us, you said?
Yes.
Does she say anything? I assume she's not just walking up to us and staring at us. Maybe she is.
No, just double checking. She's in NPCs if you look up the name if you want to see what she looks like.
Yeah, she's pretty far back. But yeah.
Not a problem. Yeah, no, she does approach you guys and gestures in greeting. Hello, it is nice to see you. I did not expect to find you here in this village during this meeting. You are lesser now. How did you part with your companions?
We split up after our job was completed, but evidently the two of us decided to travel together and ended up gaining a new companion. She gestures to Kaylin, who I presume is something else has caught her attention. Oh, no, it's
currently
Nishoni.
writing a journal. She's writing in a journal, but Nishoni, your new friend.
Nishoni's new.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mixed up. Nishoni's new.
The new friend.
Nishoni, this is Siora. I don't know if you have either of you know each other, but
I can't say we've ever met.
We met actually at that abandoned building back
Reposted some of her stuff.
the day before we met. What brings you out here? We've had quite a few things happen between now and then. What about you?
I came here accompanying my sister. She is now the newly made chief of our tribe now that our village was destroyed.
I'm sorry to hear about that. I admit I haven't had a chance to learn much of what had happened during that battle.
It was one we had been warring with for a while. My mother, I believed she was killed, but later when she was captured with the assistance. Those who traveled with me last we were. But I was able to bring her home.
Styler, I'm sorry. I heard a bit of that, but then you, I was missing out on some of what you were saying. Muffled and jumping in and out.
Is this any better?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think it was also because you were talking a bit lower and the mic might not have been picking it up.
Yeah, I think it's just my actual headset's finally giving out on me.
I could do it.
Well, they lasted me a good few years, so that's that.
Yeah. These things don't last forever, unfortunately. Thank planned obsolescence and whatnot.
Right. Okay. She was telling you about how, she got to the battle a bit late because she was, she traveled to New Serene to ask for help before the battle started. By the time she would get some and return back, the fight was already over. They had lost, though both sides suffered immense casualties. And her sister had told her that their mother was missing, presumed dead. That's how she was able to convince their new companions to go help. They were able to find her, but by then it was too late. But they were able to recover her body to give her a proper burial and return her home.
I'm glad that despite everything, she's been able to be returned home. I take it your sister is currently holed up in the meeting.
She is in the chambers, yes. Spoilers. This is actually a mission you guys would have run into if you'd taken the quest to essentially go. Yeah, if you hadn't died, this would have been the follow-up quest on your way to one of the two main cities. This is one of the things you would have stumbled into. Would have been her asking for help.
All right.
And depending on how quick and how cunning you were, you might have been able to get there in time for the battle, or maybe at the peak end, but that's another thing for another day.
All right. We've had a few goings on of our own. We were hoping to be able to speak with a few of the members of the meeting, but obviously that's not going to happen
That is rarely ever allowed until a meeting is completely concluded, as I understand it. But there have been some exceptions, though rare. Very, very rare.
We did have news that seemed to warrant one of the guards standing outside to enter in to relay the message, but
She does cock an eyebrow at that.
I think it may be prudent to not share it at this time, at least not on a crowded street.
No, and even with this happening and my sister trying to figure out the next step, we still need to rebuild the village and also deal with the Telemann missionaries that have come claiming something. She says that last part of it to herself, kind of muttering it.
Just to catch up, it sounds like there were Philemon mercenaries or missionaries?
Telemann missionaries.
Missionaries, okay.
Yeah. And from Teleme, which means over at the city of St. Matthias.
Yeah. I figured it was missionaries, not mercenaries, but I just wanted to be certain.
Oh no, it was good to double check. Those are very different things.
Oh yes. Missionaries, are they just trying to spread their gospel, or are they do they have some sort of mission that they're trying to accomplish?
Supposedly there was an agreement with my mother before she passed, but what they claimed was agreed upon did not sound like something my mother would ever offer. But until we can settle this matter and gather our people back into a home, we cannot settle this affair with them.
Well, hopefully they're not trying to take advantage of your situation, but I would not put that past the realm of possibility, at least.
I do not believe so, but until I can find one way or the other with this, I must see what I can do after.
Leah kind of turns to the other two. I don't know if Crystal is back, but Nishoni,
Yes?
did you have anything you wish to add? Any information you wish to exchange? Sorry, it's more out of game.
I
Just quiet for a minute.
I don't think so.
All right.
Wouldn't know what to add to that.
Yeah.
Apologies for that. And he does turn to you, Nishoni, and introduce herself. I am Sior.
I'm Nishoni.
I am daughter of Landjade, former leader of the Galrad clan.
My brother is Wesa, who is here at the meeting, and my uncle is Magua. So my mother was Woya. I don't know.
She smiled.
Any of them.
I've heard of most. My mother did have some dealings with them.
Ah. I hope they were pleasant, at least. Though I unfortunately doubt it.
Well, not all dealings can be pleasant, especially with leaders of villages, but for the most they seem civil. And I believe I heard mainly good things of your brother and your mother.
At the talk of dealings being civil, Leah has a small, slight chuckle under her breath for just a moment. She plays it off as a cough.
There were certainly more than a few times I remember my mother wondering if she would ever commit to her talks of recreational combat with the High King. They do seem to butt heads on occasion.
How does she deal with him?
As I remember, she made her position clear on how her first responsibility was to her people of her village and then the rest of the island. While he did not always agree, he seemed to understand, and I believe there was a respect, grudging as it may sometimes have been.
Glad it was respectful, at least. It's better than I expected from him.
Well, I can only hope this deliberation will end soon and they will come to a decision, whatever that might be. Cannot say one way or the other how this will go, but we need to do something.
Indeed. I hope that something is not war.
That may not be an option given now.
We were hoping to get an audience so that we could give the information that we have to, well, avoid that outcome, but seems unlikely.
More now than ever, war was always a possibility with the constant battles and skirmishes with the lions.
May seem pessimistic, but to me it always seemed like it was only a matter of time.
I always believed we'd eventually, not by necessity, but simply because of reality, we would be forced to stalemate this. Neither side has been gaining any ground in those small skirmishes, and there was never an attack this severe before, not one that destroyed an actual village.
What did happen? Was it just a skirmish that grew in size, or was there some other motive?
I don't know. I wasn't there. I was tasked by my mother to go to one of the settlements to try and gather more allies. So far as we knew, this would have been the largest attack by the lions that we have had. And the fact that it happened so close to one of the villages, the conflict spread.
It's a shame. Well, it's nice to see you. I admit it's, better circumstances would have been more ideal, but is there some place we can go and take you and any of your companions to go and get a meal?
We have a few things to do so, but for the meantime, we'll likely be heading into one of the resting areas.
Other designated spots? I apologize. I don't.
You don't know the
But
village.
I don't know how things. From the sounds of it, you spent time in the cities and likely in taverns, but it sounds like there's a different way of doing things here.
There are a few, for the most part. If there's something you'd like to try and do or find, I can assist if you wish.
I admit I don't think any of us have eaten since last night. So food and... Actually, what time is it getting to be in-game?
Right now, it's starting to get a little late. The sun's starting to go down.
Food and probably some place to rest for the night. From the sounds of it, we're not going to know when this meeting will conclude, but it won't be for a while.
I believe I can accommodate you as well. We have been, because we prepared for the traveling parties of the other villages. Few areas were set up for such a thing. And she does take you back down to the side of the village. There's a small clearing with a few more places. There's essentially a large little bonfire where there seems to be meals prepared and being handed out.
Nice.
All right. Okay, so they're just
Grub.
making and providing. I guess. Leah, instinctually, it's like, I guess, do we need to pay? I guess they don't do that out here. I mean, unless we do. Do we need to pay for the food? Probably not, from the sounds of it.
It's all free.
Free food? Cool. Tyler?
Yeah.
Ah.
They are giving it away for free, and there is a small line, but it is moving. And you see that they have set up sleeping quarters for those who might need them, if they don't seem to have them.
All right. What's the grub?
It's an interesting mixture. There's some basic meat cooking on a fire, along with some fish, as well as a large cauldron of some kind of soup or stew. Does all smell really good, though.
Nice. We will get a serving of the stew.
And you are granted that stew. You notice that the bowl and the small spoon they gave you are made out of wood.
Nice.
Ooh, handcrafted. Probably owes you $100 at the nearest Whole Foods for that.
Probably, but these seem to be sturdy, and the meal is rather filling, nice and warm as well.
Warm and filling.
Wonderful. What
Warm
are
and filling? Now that's nice. That's generous. Sorry.
No, you're fine. What are folks up to around the fire? What's their demeanor like?
Most, the ones that seem to be locals of the actual village, seems to be business as usual, as they're just essentially palling around with the visiting.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, things seem more or less upbeat. Some of them are still talking about how the smoke went black, but no one really knows what that means, and no one so far has made any indications that that's a bad thing. That's just something new. But for the most part, people are just asking what will happen if we do go to war, or if we decide not to, how can we possibly keep ourselves safe and not let another village be destroyed?
Yeah.
Are we going to ask for help from the other two groups, from the other two cities, or are we simply just going to something about like moving deeper into the island or into the more unexplored areas?
Interesting. Okay.
All right.
So,
we will listen in and try and use some of this time to practice and brush up on some of the language practice that the others had started training her with, and use some of the just listening in on conversations to try and like recognize words
Roll
and
a
instructors and all that.
wisdom check and an intelligence check to see, because all this is happening in Druidic.
Yeah. Let's see, wisdom and intelligence. All right. Wisdom was a 14, and intelligence was a 12.
Okay, with that, you're able to pick up a few words and phrases. You can't get a complete story, but you get more or less the gist of what's being said. You do pick up the word war, gold lions, and alternatives.
Yeah.
And you also picked up the odd bit, supposedly a rumor of an unknown incident far to the east that was apparently just reported in.
Interesting. Could that be the one that we just reported? Oh, no, they were talking about that. Oh, okay, that was the one that we listened in on. The others heard about as well. Okay, so news travels fast.
wildflower. Jeez, wildfire. Yeah, I can talk.
Yeah. Magic is a cool thing. It lets you do a lot of stuff.
When you use it right.
It's true. There's also if you have a special branch of it that's all your own.
Mm.
Yeah. If everybody knows the message spell, then news would travel really fast.
Especially if you can modify it with a bit of the with the mediums you have at hand. Let's say you make a specific, message with, the bark or the trees or the actual shrubbery and have it be copied by somewhere else. Essentially make a walkie-talkie with some plants.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Thinking quickly, we made a walkie-talkie out of nothing but a squirrel, some twine, and a walkie-talkie. Sorry.
Make a coconut radio.
You just need a coconut, a radio, some twine, and a beer.
That is an important step.
But yeah, everything seems to be dying down. People seem to be getting ready for when it gets dark. A few torches are starting to be lit. Anything you'd like to do or ask before we get to nightfall?
Not that I can think of.
I guess I'd probably ask Ciora you've got it seems like you've got a complicated view of what's been going on. You seem to be traveling with people from the outposts, but obviously you're from the island itself. What are you hoping the outcome is?
I can't tell. Well, I can't simply ignore the fact that I want revenge for my mother, but can't say the scope of the battlefield we found was not something disconcerting. There were bodies everywhere. Many ours and many theirs, and there was just death.
I agree. War is not something easily forgotten, and not something to be sought after. But at the same time, you can't simply let ourselves just be killed.
I know I'm
hope there's-
ignorant, but I'm not the one in charge. My sister has made her stance very clear, and I know that there are at least 3 within the chambers who are asking for this war.
Is it what your sister's debating for in there?
Yes. And she would not be the first to advocate for it. She will be the newest. And the most compelling reason given to date.
It's personal.
Yes.
Sincerely hope that we can find a amenable solution to this all.
I'm not entirely sure what that word means, but I hope it means peace.
In this case, yes. Something that works out the best for everyone, and I hope that we can avoid large-scale bloodshed.
That option is already gone. Only what is left to salvage is what we need to discuss. And for the most part, the main leaders, there were originally 3 factions of decision, each one led by a different chieftain, each one promising that their solution was the one needed.
Everybody tries to make it sound like their way is the only way in politics.
No, they never. Well, not to my. Everyone here will always have a voice, will always have an opinion. Theirs is simply to prove that theirs will garner the results you wish. But there is never truly one way to do something.
There's always more than one way of doing things. What?
Indeed.
I don't know if anybody else is close during this time. Let me actually roll to see if Leah trusts her, how much Leah trusts her in this case. Oh, damn, that's actually. That makes sense given what they were just discussing. I'm forgetting the name. Did we post? No, it's right. Leah will ask, what do you know about Zolmor Thunderdrift? I believe his name.
She repeats the name to herself a few times before on your roll. Wow. That is... Wow.
Wow.
So, yeah, only the two of you are here, right? Because you said you checked. Is anyone else here with you in this conversation, or they just stepped to the side a bit for their own thing?
I would leave that up to them. If they're, remotely close. I would say that she is bringing this up, even if it's in a broadly more public area. Leah definitely checks her corners and, makes sure nobody
You
would
guys are
be
in a
listening
relatively
in.
secluded space. There are still people around, but most of them are doing their own thing, just, getting ready for the night as it starts creeping up on you. Nashoni, are you close?
Yeah, I'm
So,
close.
fine.
I've been hanging out.
Just chilling, listening in?
Yeah.
Okay.
See Christmas type in.
As soon as you mention that name, she speaks it to herself.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you okay, Crystal?
Hopefully everything's going all right. Guess she'll be out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Now, as soon as you say that, her eyes do go wide for a bit as soon as she seems to recognize the name. And she immediately does ask in a more whispering voice, "Why do you know that name?"
Because it seems to have become more relevant in recent days. Someone might say he may have returned. But what exactly that heralds, why everybody's so afraid of him, that eludes me.
How much do you know of this name and the person it belongs to?
From what I've heard from my companions, it sounds as though he was the previous runner-up to be the High King of the island. But something happened, I don't know what, where he left the position or was disqualified from the position and had not been seen from until recently.
And then you know what the average villager will know. But there's more to that and less. And it all depends on who you ask. Every chieftain seems to say,
Sorry, your audio's a little muffled.
"Hello? Hello?
There
Yep.
you are.
Hey, there's someone. Cool. Right. That all depends on who you'll ask. A few of the chieftains seem to have their own interpretation of what happened back then. There are a few key points they agree upon, but everyone then seems to speculate. We don't, or at least I've never heard a consistent version.
What have you heard? What do you believe happened?
I have no idea what happened. I cannot say I believe. I wouldn't know. I was not there. The version I heard was what my mother told me. And this is what she heard from my grandmother before my mother took her place. Thunderbrand had gone to the very center of the island. And there, supposedly, he spoke directly with the god of 1,000 faces.
Oh.
And when he returned, he had begun a series of trials. This is again one of the points we seem to be unclear on. Some believe he was to find the tomb of the first High King. Others thought he was performing some labors directed by the god of 1,000 faces. Others believed he had been given a vision of the settlers to come and was to prepare the island for their arrival. Whether that was to be in welcoming or in a hostile intent, everyone seems to think differently. What we know is that he did travel the majority of the island, both the explored and the uncharted. And when he did eventually return and did prove himself worthy of the position of High King, it was days before the official announcement and ceremony. He had disappeared, and no one was entirely sure where. There were some who said they saw him return to the island center toward the volcano. Others said that they saw him board a ship and leave. But none of them were congruent, and we could not find him again.
Gone entirely.
There has been no sighting of him for the last, well, many years.
Until supposedly recently.
If what you say is true, there are a great, great many things that will change. There are an immense amount of those who wish things to change from what they have been by the current High King. Many still wish for him to take that title, but others who have done well in their time, the current High King will likely not want this.
Is there discontent? She's saying this now quiet enough that Shoni would not be able to hear, trying to, hold this out.
There is always disagreement among the leaders. There are more than enough. No one can always agree, but only until this attack have we been forced to focus more on the settlers of the island than our own.
I was gonna ask, is there discontent with the current High King? Specifically.
Yes, some do not like the way he has chosen to preside, but they do respect the position, and since it was granted to him, it is his right to rule as he sees necessary.
So this other contender, he may throw things in discourse. Thunderdrift poses
This would depend on what he, if he has returned, chooses to do. This does not account for what the others, should they, find him or prove that he has returned, what they would ask. He was officially going to be anointed. And though he disappeared, he was never stripped of that. If he was to call on the old rights, he could challenge for it, if that is his current desire. But that, again, will depend on the current standing with the chieftains. If they were to all band together behind the current king, it could be denied. But I do not believe that will happen. It's also a long and arduous assumption that he will come and try to claim it. The first time was only done because of what he accomplished and the rumors concerning him and his visits toward the center of the island.
All right. Leah is also going to check in regarding that location that we had heard the report about. I'm forgetting its name specifically, but is there any cultural significance tied to that place?
The flaming blood, no. Only the strange
no.
events of the volcanic explosions that gave it its name.
Sorry, you broke up there. Only what?
The volcanic explosions that gave the piece of land its name. Nothing.
Okay.
There's no village there because no one wants to risk the house being blown to bits at random.
Yeah. Definitely no village, but no no history, no rituals or rites there.
Nothing of note that I can think of, but I cannot say I know the full history of the island or what may have happened there.
It certainly seems like there's much in its history.
A great portion of our history is passed down from chieftain to chieftain, along with a few well-guarded secrets.
Are there no records that are kept, written or otherwise?
If such records existed, I do not think they would be shared with just anyone.
Not shared publicly?
No. If such things were created, they were created for those who would take the position of chief. The information given to people when history is told and recorded from those learning to the young, they are different.
Where I come from, with some exceptions perhaps, any who seek to learn about our history are free to do so. Sometimes they spend years of their lives studying it. So I suppose it's curious to me as to why that might be the case.
It is a noble pursuit to learn and study the history of one's own land and perhaps the happenings of the ages, but I cannot say I would know how your land would operate. As far as I've been living on the island, every village has taken it upon themselves to categorize the history of their land and village, only ever really sharing when larger events take place.
Well, it seems as if that's worked for you so far, and our method has worked so far as well, but sometimes it's believed that the knowledge of one's culture and history can be a power in and of itself. To be controlled or shared, perhaps, is up for debate, but it is power in and of itself. To know.
That is an odd way of looking at it, but I suppose I can understand how it is used.
Perhaps that's just my personal take on the situation.
No problem.
I was actually going to say that I don't know if we want to end it there because it's getting decently late.
And I was going to say, if there was nothing else, I was going to cut to the next day because that's when shit was going to happen.
Oh, shit's happening. Cool.
Yeah, I was waiting for everybody to finish up whatever they're trying to do for the night.
Sorry, just having a conversation because Crystal is out and sounds like Patty is being decently quiet today. But no, yeah, I think probably would be heading to bed shortly after that.
All right. Well, with that, we'll pop over to the next morning, and that's when the announcement will be made. After everybody has, their wake up, get some breakfast, and they'll be told that the doors are finally open as the smoke has finally gone out at the top of the meeting room. So,
Doors are open. Shit
doors
gets
are finally
real.
opening, and shit finally gets real. A decision seems to have been made, and depending on how quick you act, or if you choose to act at all, you might be able to catch a glimpse of some of the other people, as well as, well, what you guys would choose to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Are we going to save how that all goes for next time, or did you want to do something?
Nah, we'll do that all for next time. Right now, I think this is a decent place to call it for tonight.
All right. Suspenseful, and we'll see how it all shakes down. Out of curiosity, actually, not that we need to go back and change or add stuff in, but
Now we can pop out
Leah
this night before if we need to do anything else.
just gonna say Leah would be curious and would try to keep an eye out for if there's anybody else from the any other non-islanders in the town that she would have spotted, or if it's
We
like
can keep
she's.
an eye out for that, but
the
is there
only
anything specific you're looking for? Or?
I mean, if she recognizes anybody or any of the specific factions, that would be all fair. But whether it's merchants or something else, she just keep an eye out, see if she would recognize anybody. Not recognize anybody specifically necessarily, but just recognize, hey, there are other people from not here.
Not that you've noticed so far, but you haven't really gone through the entire place. But for what you've seen so far, no one else that isn't non-native. Though you've seen plenty of people with way different and unique garb, but all of it does seem to be of the island.
All right. All right. Well, I guess we'll pick back up with that next time.
Indeed. Gonna see if I can message these two so they can know why we're suddenly quiet.
Yeah. I feel like I had a question for you regarding the Waterdeep game, but I'm forgetting what it is now.
Oh no.
I'm gonna realize a minute or two after I hop up. No, I'm gonna realize 5 minutes before I fall asleep. I'm gonna spend those 5 minutes just lamenting. It's oh man, I'm so stupid. Why didn't I remember that? So obvious.
See, with me, I'm gonna just try to come up with that whatever it was again, and I'll realize I've actually got way more questions to ask than I realized.
Heidi's back.
Yep.
So,
welcome back. Did you
Thanks.
hear anything or no?
I heard you guys talking about war and wanting to avoid it and all that good stuff.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah. And a bit of
Knowledge is power.
how each country or each of the different lands divides and distributes their history. This place, does it more orally and not many records, except for a few Spartan places that seem to, depict a broader history.
Mm-hmm.
And also like the secret history of the chieftains passed down to those people specifically.
Yeah.
And with that, we kind of just closed it off for the night. And the next morning, it's announced that after everyone's had their little breakfast and everything, smoke is gone from the top of the meeting chamber, meaning that the decision has been made, and we're just waiting for the doors to bust open,
Ooh.
and everyone to be out. So the official announcements and the chieftains to re-enter the village, grab their people, and I guess do whatever they said they were going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest will be determined based off of that decision.
Cool.
I was going to
Can't wait
jokingly
to find
say
out.
GTFO. Maybe the village will be under attack like 5 minutes after. Who knows?
I mean,
Maybe.
who knows? I mean, now that a decision has been made.
I'll be honest, Leah's guard is up because she did have a thought of this would be the perfect time and place to strike with all the leaders in one spot, as well as a whole bunch of both citizens and I think a bit of their armies all kind of off guard. A whole bunch of higher ups are all in one place.
That's a bold assumption, assuming they're off guard and that people know that this is happening outside of the villages.
This is true. It's also probably why they were in a specialized meeting chamber. Probably very defensible. In fact, the fact that we got right up to the door is probably a big deal. I don't know.
That more or less, but the fact that it was like living stone that looked like it just popped out of the ground.
Yeah, there's magic going on here.
I mean, this is a race of like the only magic they know of is druidic. When they was introduced to like the arcane and the divine, they were intrigued most definitely, but they were
not their jam.
Yeah. You've yet to see any one of them that does anything particularly on the divine side. They seem to have like dabbled and crossbred a few of the arcane styles, but nothing that you would recognize.
Interesting. Okay. Oh, I mean, Leah's not, she's been around the arcane. She has not practiced the arcane.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, I wish I could play my old druid. That'd be hilarious.
It is mildly entertaining because, I'll be honest, Leah would do well in the Waterdeep campaign, and I feel like DMs can be prone to creating characters that would thrive in their own campaigns or do well in their own campaigns.
I would love to see Celia in the Waterdeep campaign, like early Waterdeep campaign.
Oh, Leah in the early Waterdeep campaign, or Celia was in there.
No, right, not Celia. Kaylin, there it is.
Oh God, Kaylin. Oh
yeah,
no.
Early Waterdeep campaign, like in that first troll fight.
I mean, hell, just this entire party in the Waterdeep campaign. Oh boy.
That would be some isekai level shit, and I would love that.
You mentioned Kaylin in the troll fight, and I'm afraid that Kaylin would somehow end up falling into the yawning portal. I really hope not. but I'm afraid that would be a possibility.
I'm sure we'll find a way to tether her to like the bar or something.
Just gotta catch her. Yeah. What was
Yeah.
I do remember what I was gonna ask, but I think we should either do that in a different channel or somewhere where we're not being recorded. Hey, YouTube.
No worries, we can do it next time.
I can like message you in between.
Yeah, that'll work.
Something that we may have discussed before, but I wanted to check up on. Just so I was thinking about stuff.
Don't worry. The fact that my new character is going to assassinate one of my old characters will be a complete secret.
Not anymore.
They'll never see it coming.
Never see it coming. Sorry.
Now I'm back to Phantom Thieves.
And it's time to replay Persona 5.
I mean, they did just remake the new Persona 3, so...
Yeah. Was that out now? I guess it is out now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Alright, guys, we'll see you all next week. I'm going to try and message Crystal to let her know that we're done. Thank her for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds
Thank you
like
for
a-
hosting, Siler.
Thank you guys for playing. Hope you enjoyed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next week.
See you all next week.
Have a nice night, and I'll message you that question that I had, Siler.
No problemo.
We can talk about it via chat or through text or something. Either way works.
All right. Take care, guys. Have a good night. Great day tomorrow. Bye.
Have a nice. Bye-bye.